Hello friends, I am Sayukta Saxena. I am a certified Zentangle teacher and welcome back to another session with me wherein we will be continuing our series on Zentangle original pattern. So today's session is on the tangle frondus, right? So today we'll be learning how to draw the basic pattern frondus, and then as always we shall draw a tile together with the tangle frondus and a few more tangles to go along with it, right? So let's get started. So we have already learned a tangle similar to frondus earlier, which was the tangle Weinix, right? So in case you have seen my session on the tangle pattern Weinix, it will be easier for you to learn the pattern frondus. So just for your reference, you may start with a line here, but it is not mandatory, right? So now I am going to start with these petal shapes like these, right? On both sides of the line, taking the line as a reference and drawing these petals at an angle to each other like this, right? So once we have done that, let me zoom in a little bit. Yeah, then we are going to ink each of these petal shapes, right? So in the original pattern these petals are inked, but again as you learn the pattern and start playing around, you can introduce lot of tangulations. You can play around with the space inside the petals, right? So there are different ways to shade also. So first learn the basic tangle as is, and then you can venture into more variations. So I have, for example, inked one side of frondus and left the other side as is. Both sides are inked, and the last step is to add these aura to the petal shapes like this. Right? So that's the basic pattern frondus. These petals are also originally inked, so you can see the drama factor in the tangle, right, due to inking. So you can see the tangle is pretty close to another tangle that we learned, that is Weinix. The difference being, in Weinix these petals are joined with each other like this, right? Joint at the beginning, something like this, and we fill up the in between spaces, and then we aurite the same way we do frondus, right? So the difference is only from where the petals are starting. In frondus these petals are widely spaced, they are not joined with each other, right? So how do we shade the tangle? There are ample of ways. You can either shade on the outside, right, just one side, add a shadow, right, that's one option. Or what you can do is shade on both the sides outside the aura, right? So that's one more way. I generally shade frondus on one side, so I darken one side and then highlight the other side so that it looks folded from the center, right? So if you add graphite at the center and then blend it towards one side, any one side like this, right, and then you can use your chalk pencil and highlight the other side a little, right, then it almost looks like folded from the center, right? So that's another way of shading our frondus. So in today's session we shall be drawing a tile together with the tangle pattern frondus and a few more tangles to go along. Let us see a few tiles first which I have already drawn using the pattern, right? So this was the teaser that I posted. You can see Huggins and frondus here together, right? So this is Huggins and this is frondus. a small little variation you can see. I have not inked the frondus completely but added boldness to one side of the line, right? So that's one tile. Another tile that I posted, these I have already posted on my Insta handle, right? So again, frondus which is not inked, just has those H marks inside it, right? And few more tangles to go along. This is another tile, just a fun string that I had made already on a tile. So I used it to add some tangles and also included the pattern frondus in it, right? So one more tile that I had drawn, an interesting string, so frondus in a kind of a pot shape or a circular shape. You can also use frondus as a border tangle, it will look nice. However, I didn't try that tile, right? Another interesting use of frondus as a filler inside my gorgeous. So this is one more way you can use your frondus, right? Try using it. So many ways that you can go about using the same tangle. So in today's session, let us draw a tile using the pattern frondus and few more tangles to go, right? So let us start right away. So I'm going to be adding a reference line here, a rough line, something like this, right? A light-handed line, a string maybe, and use it as a reference to start with my first angle frondus. I hope you can see clearly. Yeah. So let us start with frondus. So I'm going to add some lines like these for my ease to draw the pattern frondus. You can totally do away with it. It's not mandatory, right? So let me use these as a reference for drawing my frondus. So I have started with the pattern, right? So we'll add these petal shapes on both sides, taking my line as a reference if you need the line. Otherwise you can draw right away, right? And then I'm going to add an aura like this. So take your time, go slow, right? So that's one. Again, starting with the next one, using the lines as the middle stem. However, frondus originally doesn't have any stem like that. The leaves are just floating in the air. You can also try reducing the size towards the end. That's okay. So again, going to add this aura. So you can add a straight aura. You can also add a mild curve to the auras. It's okay anyways. No hard and fast rules. So I'm not adding much curve here. So you can also, what I'm saying is you can add a nice curve to the auras also, right? On to my fourth one. So I'm drawing behind here. You can see lot of drawing behind. Space is less, so it's always a good idea and it always looks nice to draw behind. Again, adding that aura, right? Right? Again, there is one more here. So go slow, enjoy each stroke, take deep breaths, don't haste up, enjoy the journey from start to finish, right? So a few more here. I think by now you got a hang of how to draw the tangle. So basically the leaves are floating in the air. They are not connected with each other. They are generally inked in the original tangle. And you add an aura. A tangle very similar to what we have already learned by NYX. But a little difference. The leaves being separated from each other and not starting from the same point, right? So another one probably here. So you can add any number, but I'm just using the lower part of my tile to add the pattern, and we'll see what do we want to do with the rest of the tile. We'll bring in a few more tangles, right? So one or two hidden here and there, probably one from here. And coming out from here. You can always reduce the size in order to fit in the space that is available, right? So that's okay. Yeah, I think that is sufficient. And the rest of the space that I have, probably I am going to be inking it, right? So the in-between spaces will add a lot of drama if inked, right? So I'm going to be slowly inking each of these spaces which are left in between my frondus. So take your time, go slow, don't hurry up, don't haste up the process of inking. It is as much a part of your tangling as any other stroke. Your tangles don't look complete unless you ink the in-between spaces or add some other tangle to it, like tipple or some other filler tangle, right? So I'm going to ink this and then get back to you. So I am almost finishing with the inking the last section now. So while inking also, if you think that there are certain big sections to be inked, then you can insert one or two frondus leaves there. That's okay. Right, so inking the last section. Yeah, so that's about inking, and you can see how beautiful the frondus looks after inking. Right, so now it is up to us what other tangles do we want to add. So I'm going to be starting with a pattern called melting mocha. So I'm going to start with this straight line and add a curve at the end of the line like this, and then I'm going to aura this line like this, and then I am going to start with a new line auraing a part of the curve like this, and then extend this line below, right? So that's kind of melting mocha. I will again start from here, add a curve here, right? Again aura this line and aura the curve like this. Again start with a new line and bring it down straight here, and then extend this line till the end, right? So that's the pattern melting mocha. Again going to start here, but turn in the other direction. Again add an aura closely and curve. Again aura the curve and come down like this, and then extend this line till the bottom, right? So that's simple a pattern. Again going to add one more, going to add a curve here. Again going to aura this curve like this. Again drop a line auraing the curve till the end of the tile, and then extend this line below, right? So that's the pattern melting mocha. I'm going to use this place for something else, a tangle that Maria used in one of her projects packs, something like a kite or a kite fish, you can say, like this, right? I'll draw one more and show you. So this stem will go like this, crossing the first one that I drew, go till here, and then add a triangular kind of shape like this, right? Again start one more here like this. Again draw behind, go ahead, add that curve, and that's hidden behind, right? Something like this, right? So probably one more here. I think you got the hang of the pattern. Just adding a kite like shape, a triangular shape on both sides of the line, right? And then I'm going to continue this melting mocha from in between as if they are continuing as they were, like this, and probably draw one here like this, and aura this, come down, come here, right? So we have drawn two patterns here. We don't know the name of this pattern, but it looks like a kite or a kite fish to me, right? We generally ink these sections, so what you can do is add some orbs if you don't want to ink it completely, right? And ink the rest of the section like this, right? So I'll show you one, and you can do the others in the same way. Right, that's the way to go. Again the same exercise, you can reduce the width of the space and then slowly ink the small space left after adding those orbs, partial orbs, complete orbs. Like this, right? So I'll do exactly the same for the rest also. So I'm inking the last one now, doing the same exercise for all. So one of the beautiful tangles that Maria came up while drawing in one of the project packs, but we don't know the name of the tangle, but it looks amazing. I think she drew on a black tile with jelly rolls. Right, so that's how the pattern looks like. right? So now with the melting mochas, let us start with the pattern Shattuck here. So I am going to start with these lines from one side and then almost at a 90 degree starting the next one and then coming down, or you can go up the way you are comfortable, right? So refer to my session on Shattuck. We have already learned these patterns. So I'm just adding auras, right? Again, basically this line is at 90 degree. You can first start from there and then come down. That's okay. Not necessary that you have the same number of lines every time. Depends on the spaces. So just go with the flow and enjoy what you're doing. Relax, don't haste up, take deep breaths. Yeah, right. So we added Shattuck in one of the sections. So now let us add Shattuck here also. And then we'll see if we want to add Shattuck to all or we want to add some other pattern. Right. Small little space here, we can I think add Shattuck here. So I am coordinating with the lines on the other side. You can see those lines are extending to the other side, right? So here probably I'll add something like a gorgeous, but not exactly. So I am going to add these bold lines in a curvy fashion like this, just the way we draw gorgeous. Right, so you can add any other tangle of your choice, totally up to you. Please feel free to add your go-to tangles that come easily to you. Right, again one more like this, so kind of leafy kind of shape. You can call it gorgeous or you can call it anything else. You can call it a fragment, entirely up to you. Right, so pretty bold in its look, again adds lot of drama to your tile. And I'm not doing anything except adding auras, right? So that's the beauty of Zentangle. Right, so you can see the drama. Again, let us add the same thing here also. So I'm going to start with this bold middle leaf and then going to aura the shape. Just go by the main shape, right? Like this. Again the other side. So add probably one or two more, and then we again switch to our pattern Shattuck. Right, so this one looks like something like a gorgeous, right? If you include this fescue that we have drawn on the top, then it looks something like a gorgeous sitting here, right? And then again the shattuck. So just enjoy each stroke. Don't worry about the outcome. It's always beautiful. The process is all that matters in Zentangle. So you can see how due to the thickness the number of lines is varying. That's okay. Just follow the principle, right? So I'm going to continue like this, right? Probably add shattuck and a mix of gorgeous and shattuck. So I'm done with the exercise. So let us now move on to shading our tile. You can see I left few places empty here so that my kites are clearly visible, right? Otherwise they might get lost. So I'm now going to start shading my tile. So I have not inked my frondus here. So we'll see if it is required to be inked, right? So if need be, then I'm going to ink it. Otherwise I'm going to leave it as it is. So I'm adding some graphite now. So as far as these sections are concerned, I'm going to add graphite on both sides and then highlight the center, right? Like this. So a lot of inking involved, so be careful. Make sure that your ink has dried up. Right, so yeah, as far as the frondus is concerned, again I'm going to darken one side and leave the other side highlighted. And if they don't look nice enough, which is not likely, then I may ink them, right? They would look nice anyways. So just adding graphite on one side, right? So let us now start blending and see what happens to our tile. Yeah. So I'm now going to blend my graphite. So not much spaces here, so just take it easy. Don't blend too much. Again, just going to blend the pencil a little without pulling it too much towards the center. So the beauty of shading comes out only when you have the light and dark portion discrete, right? So the contrast should be visible, otherwise if the whole tile goes gray, no fun. The shading doesn't show. So the lights and the darks should show clearly. Right, so go slow, take your time, blend but don't blend too much. Use circular strokes. I'm not covering the center, as you can see. I'm blending but I'm not spreading too much. right? So once we are done with this, now let us move on to our frondus. A little touch here probably, yeah. So I'm now going to spread this on one side. So there's a lot of inking already, so I decided not to ink my frondus, but even if you ink it, it would look nice because it has an aura, so it will not mix up with the rest of inking. So you can consider it, right? So that's okay. You can also add small little details to the leaves. I have kept it simple here. So a lot of other activities going on the tiles, so I thought probably, yeah. So now I'm going to add a little chalk pencil. So here, to highlight the center of these big gorges sitting here and there, highlight the center of the shattuck, right? So you can use your different blending stump to, what I can do here is highlight one side and leave the rest, the other side, the way it is. So it gives a light and dark effect, something like this. There is no point shading on the black, so what you can do is add a highlight. Again, add a highlight here. I think I didn't blend here. Yeah. And then we can highlight the other side of our frondus like this. Although we have not shaded it, not much required, but still it would add a little to the look of the tangle. So I'm highlighting the other side a bit, right, with my chalk pencil, entirely optional. Right, so use another blending stump if you want to, and then just take off the excess chalk like this, right? So just in case you are somebody like me who doesn't like too many blank spaces or black spaces, then you can always add these small dots, which I do pretty often, right? So adds that mystical kind of feeling to your tile, but entirely optional. You may not embellish, so it's okay. The blacks add to the tile anyways, so I'm just adding a few to break that monotony. Right, so that's about it. That's our tile for today. I'm now going to be closing my tile here. So put my chalk, which I recently changed, right? So my sign and date it. Today is 7th of September. Yeah, losing track of time, I think. So thanks for watching, and we shall meet again with another new session, another new tangle. Till then, have a good time, stay safe, bye bye.